Hi there, this is JKS Plays once again, hoping to provide yet another answer to a question that I asked myself. Is it possible to beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with just this one Pokemon? And now, hailing from the Kalos region, it's the wrestling Pokemon, Hawlucha! Hawlucha is a flying and fighting type with an awesome base stat total of an even 500. It has 5 weaknesses to try to overcome, but Hawlucha is spoiled for choice when it comes to counters, as it learns a plethora of moves by TM to compensate for his weaknesses. Shiny hunters around the world know Hawlucha has a phenomenal shiny form, and in the upcoming Pokemon Legends ZA game that will release on October 16, 2025 on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, Hawlucha is getting a brand new Mega Evolution. Can this brave luchador bird with a fighting spirit carry me all the way to the end credits of Pokemon Violet? Let's step into the ring and find out, as I welcome you to this Pokemon Violet solo challenge run, as I try to conquer the Paldea region using only Hawlucha. And now for the rules. Number 1, I can only use Hawlucha in all the battles. Secondly, no items during battle, but held items will be acceptable. The third rule, if necessary, I'm going to allow up to 5 Terra-type changes. The fourth rule, all victories during this run must be achieved by knockout. There are no pinfalls, no submissions, no countouts, and no disqualifications. And the fifth rule is optional. If you like what you see, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Either way, I'm happy that you're here to take this ride along with me as I journey through Paldea once again as the male avatar, enrolling in Uva Academy. The bell has rung, so let the challenge officially begin. For this run, I brought in from my main Violet file that I hatched from an egg, this Hawlucha, which has 6 best IVs, and I nicknamed it after one of the hottest stars in all Elite Wrestling, Mercedes Mone. This Hawlucha also has the attack boosting speed lowering Brave Nature and its hidden ability Mold Breaker. I also bred this Hawlucha with the egg move Quick Guard and taught it Throat Chop, a TM that you can only find in the Hidden Treasure of Area 0 Part 2, the Indigo Disc DLC. And before I entered the Mesagoza gate to enroll in the Academy, I was once again interrupted by my battle-loving neighbor with champion rank Nemona. This will be Nemona's first look at Mone the Hawlucha, as she starts off with Sprigatito, which also reveals that I chose Fuecoco at the start of the game. Knowing that Sprigatito has 2 resistant moves in Bite and Leafage, I decided to build up Hawlucha's attack and accuracy by 1 stage as many times as I wanted to by using Hone Claws. At +3, Sprigatito decided to lower Hawlucha's defensive stage by using Tail Whip. So on the next 2 turns, I had Hawlucha build up its attack and accuracy up to a +5 with 2 more usage of Hone Claws. And once Hawlucha was done setting up, Sprigatito was done for, as it got pounced on by Aerial Ace, a flying physical attack that Hawlucha learns at level 12. And now Nemona was about to bring out her second Pokemon, Pawmi, a Gen 9 Pikachu clone that is also an electric type, one of the 5 weaknesses Hawlucha has to deal with. But this Throat Chop at +5 in attack is more than enough to polish off Pawmi and get Hawlucha's first victory of this run over Nemona. And now that she's been defeated for the first time, I am free to enter the largest and most beautiful city in all of Paldea, Mesagoza. As per the custom for all my Scarlet and Violet runs, I do a little bit of sightseeing and shopping in Delibird Presence. And walking up the large staircase, I was confronted by Team Star. That's when Nemona gives me my very own Terra Orb, revealing to all for now that Hawlucha is a Terra Flying type, which I think looks great on Hawlucha, as it quickly eliminates the Team Star Grunt's Yungoos. Now that I've officially enrolled in the Academy, all 3 major stories have officially been unlocked, and I also gained the box legendary Miraidon as my riding companion for the remainder of this solo challenge. The first thing on my agenda in this Hawlucha only run was to head east after leaving Mesagoza for the first time to get the best counter to electric types in the ground physical attack dig. Then I headed west to get the adamant mitt, which I quickly failed Hawlucha, while also washing Hawlucha 15 times in picnics to max out its friendship. It was finally time to challenge for my first gym badge of this run in the city of Cortundo against gym leader Katie. And since she specializes in bug types, and Hawlucha being a fighting and flying type, meaning that Hawlucha will quad resist any bug type attacks, this fight was over before it even started. Katie never stood a chance as Hawlucha soars high above the competition for our first badge. After that early showing of dominance by Mone the Hawlucha, we now target Stony Cliff Titan Cloth. The Raven Crab was about to be in for some big-time trouble dealing with Hawlucha, as a powerful low kick sent the giant crustacean into the second phase where it gains a larger health bar. Arvin's shoulder also helped out a little bit, as this first low kick took Cloth down to half of its health, activating its Anger Shell ability. Cloth focuses attack on Shoulder with Vice Grip, before Shoulder retaliated with Water Gun, setting up the Stony Cliff Titan to get knocked out by Hawlucha's third and final low kick, earning us our second badge. After defeating Cloth, I headed past Sapapico to get two noteworthy TMs like the Bug Physical Attack X-Scissor, and then doing some platform jumping with Miraidon to get the TM for Acrobatics, a base 55 power flying physical attack that doubles to 110 as long as Hawlucha is not holding an item. After immediately teaching Acrobatics to Hawlucha, the perfect place to show off this move is against Grass Gym Leader Brassius in Artisan Town as we go after our second gym badge. 2 rounds of Acrobatics are just fine in taking out Brassius' first 2 Pokemon, Petalil and Smoliv. And this is where Hawlucha having its hidden ability Mold Breaker comes in mighty handy against Brassius' ace Pokemon, Grass Terra Sudowoodo, who would normally live out a one-hit knockout with 1 hit point because of the Sturdy ability, but Mold Breaker overrides the Sturdy ability, and Sudowoodo goes down in 1 hit just like Brassius' first 2 Pokemon, making for another one-sided gym battle, earning us our 3rd badge of the run and the TM for Trailblaze. Time to head to the land of Kitakami. I decided to take this opportunity at this point of the run to go on a field trip with 3 other Uba Academy students to the land of Kitakami, which officially unlocks the hidden treasure of Area 0 Part 1, the Teal Mask DLC. In the land of Kitakami, there are various technical machines that Hawlucha can learn, adding to its versatility of attacks. But before I'm able to get to any of those TMs, I had to help out a student that was sick on the trip there. Then, as I went to the Misui Community Center, I was confronted by the 2 Blueberry Academy sibling students, Carmine and her brother Kieran. After being insulted by Carmine calling me an outsider, she challenged me to a Pokemon battle in order to get to know me better. But Carmine was also a little bit rude to her brother Kieran, so it was up to me and my Hawlucha to set Carmine straight. This also gave me a great chance to teach Hawlucha 3 new moves by TM that I found in Paldea before making the trip to Kitakami, in Drain Punch, Dig, which took out Vulpix here on this turn, and the 3rd move which I found outside of Porto Marinata, the Poison Physical Attack, Poison Jab, which Hawlucha used to one-shot Carmine's final Pokemon, Poltergeist. Poison Jab is one of the 2 moves Hawlucha can learn and needs badly to take down fairy types. But after defeating Carmine, I found 5 more TMs that Hawlucha will be benefiting from in Rock Tomb, Stone Edge, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and the Fighting Stab Brick Break. On the next day in Kitakami, I was then challenged to battle by Kirin, who only had 2 Pokemon, including his first one being the normal type Centret, who quickly got eradicated by Hawlucha's Brick Break. The second Pokemon Kirin brought out is a Iono, a bug and flying type, who stands no chance of surviving a quad-effective Stone Edge. Now it's back to Paldea in pursuit of more badges. Hawlucha and I safely made it back to Paldea after making the necessary preparations, as it's time to raid the first Team Star base of this challenge. And because Hawlucha, being a part fighting type, has the type advantage, this first Team Star boss battle against the second squad leader, Giacomo, a master of dark types, is the easiest. Especially considering his first Pokemon Ponyard is quad weak to fighting because of its secondary steel type, quickly getting annihilated by Hawlucha's Brick Break, leaving Giacomo with only the second Starmobile as its last line of defense. Hawlucha's attack stat got lowered down by 1 because of the Starmobile's Intimidate, but it still struck for a quarter of the Starmobile's HP with Low Kick after taking the Swift attack. A second Low Kick by Mone took the Starmobile to under half health, before this next Swift attack did sizably more damage due to Hawlucha's special defense being lowered by 2 with Metal Sound, so I had Hawlucha healed up on the next turn with Drain Punch. On this final turn, Hawlucha's third Low Kick knocked out this jacked up Rubber Room, turning this first Starmobile of this run into a pile of garbage. In convincing fashion, Hawlucha and I have claimed the first 4 badges of this challenge. After conquering the Team Star Dark Base, I headed over to the Deadly Bird Presence in Levincia to get a wide lens to equip Hawlucha with, considering our 5th opponent in this run is the Open Sky Titan Bombardier, a large stork dropping boulders from the sky, trying to discourage me from battling it. But Hawlucha and I are simply unshakable. The main reason why I had Hawlucha hold the wide lens was to increase the accuracy of this Rock Tomb from 95% to 100, striking Bombardier for over half of its HP and lowering the speed of the foul creature, before Bombardier retaliated with a wing attack. And since this is the only Titan battle where you can't heal in between the 2 phases, I had Hawlucha heal up with a Drain Punch before the second phase begins, where I team up with Arven's Knackley, who was of no help whatsoever. Another Rock Tomb from Hawlucha took off half of Bombardier's health before Bombardier shockingly struck back with a neutral Rock Throw. Arven, as usual, had his Knackley build up its speed by 2 stages by using Rock Polish. On the next turn, Hawlucha missed Stone Edge, and as Knackley, already faster, inexplicably used Rock Polish again, this stupid bird attacked Knackley with Pluck, which would have been super effective and knocked Hawlucha out because it was a critical hit, which opened the door for Hawlucha to blow Bombardier to bits with a Stone Edge, securing our 2nd victory over a Titan and our 5th badge. It's time to head back to Levincia and enter the Iono zone. Not too far away from the Open Sky Titan, I hurriedly got the TM for Swords Dance, a move that boosts the user's attack by 2 stages, which I know I needed for future battles down the line. This latest battle against my rival Nemona isn't one of them, as all 3 of her Pokemon got one-shot by a flurry of attacks from Hawlucha, including her starter Floragato. After a day of rest, I headed back to the Levincia gym to challenge the supercharged streamer Iono, a master of electric types, one of the many unfavorable matchups for Hawlucha, who came into this gym battle at level 28. I also came into this fight with a game plan. I had Hawlucha hold a Cherry Berry, considering Iono's first Pokemon Wattrel has 2 super effective attacks in the Flying Attack Pluck and the Electric Physical Attack Spark. The berry was there for 2 purposes: to heal up Hawlucha from possible paralysis from Spark, which Wattrel ended up doing, or have Wattrel steal the berry by using Pluck. Either way, Wattrel was going to go down on the next turn with a Rock Tomb after a Swords Dance boost, which was not needed to take Wattrel down. The Swords Dance boost was needed to take out Iono's second Pokemon Bellybolt with Dig. This sword stance had Hawlucha's attack stat at +2, which was going to get lowered down to a +1 because of Luxio's Intimidate ability. But since Luxio has paper-thin defenses, it also went down to a +1 dig, which got the added bonus of the hit being critical. And now Iono was down to her final Pokemon, Mismagius. And this is the main reason why I bred Hawlucha for this run with its hidden ability, Mold Breaker. You see, Mismagius gets rid of all of its weaknesses because of the ability Levitate. And because Mismagius terastallized into Terra Electric, Hawlucha can penetrate through Mismagius' Levitate ability and one-shot my favorite ghost from the Sinnoh region with a third and final dig attack, turning one of Hawlucha's most frightening matchups into an outright shocker for our third gym badge. Hawlucha may have pulled off a stunning win over Iono's electric types, but this second Team Star fight just might burn down the momentum Hawlucha has built.
It's a new Viper!
I found the Rain Dance TM just outside of the Team Star Fire Base hideout and immediately taught it to Hawlucha for this bout against the Team Star Shutter Squad leader Mela, whose first Pokemon Torkoal not only sets up the sun with its route ability, it is a physically built defensive tank for a fire turtle. That right there was Hawlucha's first case of RNG luck for this entire fight, as it dodged the Flame Wheel due to the power of friendship. I had Hawlucha hold the Damp Rock, which increases rain turns from 5 up to 8. But since Hawlucha's best attack for this fight is the ground attack Dig, it's an attack that takes up 2 turns. After weakening Mela's lead with 2 dig attacks, I took Torkoal out on the next turn by have Hawlucha using Rock Tomb. But Hawlucha lost a quarter of its health after taking 2 Clear Smog attacks from Torkoal right before Mela summons the power of the Shatter Starmobile, which missed its first opportunity in lowering Hawlucha's defense by 2 stages with Screech, allowing for Hawlucha to get a dig off. The Starmobile then tried to use its fire special attack Overheat, which also whiffed due to the power of friendship. But once Hawlucha dug underground before connecting a second time, the 8 turns of rain were finally up. Hawlucha was once again staring down the Starmobile, who yet again missed Screech, which I'm pretty sure frustrated Mela. Hawlucha dug underground and connected with Dig once again, finally bringing the Starmobile's large health bar down to under half health, which is exactly the situation Hawlucha found itself in once it took an overheat from the Starmobile. But once Hawlucha connected with this Dig, this fight was still not over, as the Shatter Starmobile was down to its last hit point before it struck Hawlucha with a blazing torque that also left Hawlucha with a burn. I clicked Dig for the final time, knowing Hawlucha was going to take burn damage and survive with just 10 HP before finishing off the Starmobile with one final dig. Mone had to work overtime for this victory, but it was supremely satisfying in collecting our 7th badge. Being put through the ringer against Mela also put me in dire need of a breather, so I headed all the way to Alfrenada Town to get 2 more TMs that Hawlucha can learn in Bulk Up and the strongest fighting special attack, Focus Blast, which notoriously has a 30% chance to miss, and I needed Focus Blast to be as effective as possible against a lurking Steel Titan Earthworm, and of course Focus missed on the first attempt, but the second one was right on target. For the second phase, I team up with Arven and his Toadscool. And here's another reason why Mold Breaker is so good on Hawlucha for this run. Earthworm has the exclusive ability Earth Eater, which makes it immune to ground-type attacks. If it gets hit with one, it'll instead heal up HP instead of taking damage. Finally, one of Arven's Pokemon did something to help me out for a change by confusing Earthworm with Supersonic, before Earthworm got hit by Hawlucha's Dig, which is now possible because of Hawlucha's Mold Breaker ability. While Hawlucha was underground, it missed its wrap attack, so it decided to wrap up Toadscool, who retaliated with a Grass Knot, before Hawlucha's second Focus Blast that actually connected wiped out the lurking Steel Titan. Hawlucha and I now have 8 badges, as we go after Gym Badge number 4 in Cascarafa next. Now going after Gym Badge number 4 against Water Leader Kofu, I had Hawlucha hold the Rocky Helmet for this fight, as it squares off against Kofu's lead that also has the ability Mold Breaker in Veluza. Mone quickly struck first with Thunder Punch. After taking a pluck from Veluza, who also took Rocky Helmet damage as a result of landing the attack, I had Hawlucha use Trailblaze to build its speed up by a stage and knock Veluza out in the process. I then had Hawlucha heal up with Drain Punch on the next turn against Kofu's second Pokemon Work Trio, who ended up knocking itself out by hitting Hawlucha with a headbutt. All of Kofu's Pokemon are physical attackers, which was mainly why I had Hawlucha hold a Rocky Helmet in the first place, especially for Kofu's Ace Crabominable, who terastallizes into a Terra Water type. Hawlucha's Thunder Punch wasn't even strong enough to take off half of Crabominable's HP, allowing for Kofu's #1 Pokemon to strike Hawlucha with a Water Terra boosted Crab Hammer, putting itself in knockout range thanks to Rocky Helmet damage. Hawlucha seized the opportunity to finish off this fight with another Thunder Punch. Hawlucha and I are still going strong now that we have 9 badges, but before going after the 10th one, I made a trip all the way to Casseroya Lake and climbed up one of the 3 watchtowers at the lake to get another important TM that I immediately taught Hawlucha the first chance I got in the Flying Physical Attack Brave Bird. Then I headed back to Levencia and did a little bit more platform jumping with Miraidon to get another crucial TM in the Steel Physical Attack Iron Head. Officially beginning the second half of this challenge, I bought a Power Bracer at the Mezzagoza Delibird presence, then had Hawlucha knock out as many Wild Flamingos as possible to fully max out its attack EVs, before heading over to Tag Tree Thicket to take on our 3rd Team Star base.
How about a new Corvette?
Hawlucha's toughness will once again be put to the test by Team Star, this time against Poison Leader Atticus, whose first Pokemon Skuntank loves to poison opposing Pokemon with Toxic. So I had Hawlucha set up a substitute on the first turn. Skuntank's Venoshock failed to break the sub, allowing for Hawlucha to freely set up behind the sub with Bulk Up to increase its attack and defense by a single stage. In order for Atticus to do more damage to Hawlucha, it had to break the sub. Skuntank's second Venoshock was able to do so. I elected to not set up another substitute and have Hawlucha use Bulk Up again to put its attack and defense at a +2, allowing for Skuntank to hit Hawlucha with Toxic. The damage doubles with Toxic on every single turn. Knowing this, I had Hawlucha hold a Pecha Berry to cure itself from the poison. I had Hawlucha dig underground on the next turn, but Skuntank was still able to hit Hawlucha with Toxic, and now I have no way to cure the poison. Skuntank immediately went down on the next turn with Hawlucha's dig, but now Toxic damage will double on every single turn Hawlucha is on the battlefield, before Atticus brings out his second Pokemon in Muck. I had Hawlucha dig underground again, causing Muck's Sludge Wave to miss, and the power of friendship once again clicked, as Hawlucha was able to expel the poison before finishing off Muck. Out next for Atticus is Revavroom, whose only best attack against a part flying type is Iron Head. But however, considering Revavroom is a part steel type, it is 4 times weak to dig. With all 3 of his precious Pokemon down, Atticus is forced to rely on the Navi Starmobile, who outspeeds Hawlucha and was able to hit Mone with Noxious Torque, which thankfully did not get Hawlucha pre-poisoned. After digging underground once again, this dig attack strikes for well over half of the Navi Starmobile's health bar. After the Starmobile failed to poison Hawlucha with another Noxious Torque, I wanted to get this battle over with by having Hawlucha polish off this fight with the Psychic Physical Attack Zen Headbutt, a TM that I found while visiting Kitakami. Make it 3 Team Star bases defeated, with their Starmobiles being sent to the scrap heap, giving Hawlucha and I 10 total badges. I next headed to Medali Town to get the leftovers item and immediately challenged everyone's favorite everyday man, normal gym leader Larry. considering normal type's only weakness is the fighting types, giving Hawlucha the clear advantage. I had Hawlucha set up its attack and defense on the first 2 turns by using Bulk Up. On both turns, Larry's lead Pokemon Komala used Yawn, making Hawlucha grow drowsy after the first turn. After the second turn, when Hawlucha was put to sleep, it instantly woke up by eating a Chesto Berry. So I had Hawlucha set up Bulk Up for a 3rd time, putting its attack and defense at a +3, before Komala used Yawn again. Instead of going for the KO with Drain Punch, I had Hawlucha Bulk Up a 4th time. And as Komala used Slam, Hawlucha was put to sleep for the 2nd time in this bout. I did not want Hawlucha to be put in a bad position against Larry's 2nd Pokemon, which is why I had Hawlucha wait it out a bit. On the 2nd turn of sleep, Hawlucha woke up, set up Bulk Up for a 5th time, and after taking one final pathetic slam, I had Hawlucha take out both Komala and the Dunsparce with back-to-back +5 Drain Punches. Hawlucha's attack got lowered down to +4 because of Staraptor's Intimidate, before it also got knocked out by a Drain Punch. Gaining confidence with every passing triumph, Hawlucha and I now have 11 badges in this Pokemon Violet Hawlucha solo-only challenge, but we still can't leave Medali Town just yet. No sooner than right after coming out victorious over Larry, I head back to the Medali Gym to claim my prize, and I got greeted by top champion Gita, who wanted to see me up close in battle for the first time and find out why my Hawlucha is gaining so much popularity in the Paldea region. Gita is about to get her wish, as Nemona came into the Medali Gym to once again challenge me, probably sick and tired of being embarrassed by my Hawlucha in the previous 2 battles during this run. Watching my gym battle from a distance, Nemona thought she could get the early advantage by challenging me right away, but Gita says not so fast and healed up my Hawlucha right before this rival battle starts. Nemona adds a Gumi to her team, and her Rockruff has now fully evolved into Lycanroc Midday form, who is slower than Hawlucha because of Hawlucha's high speed stat. So Lycanroc is only faster by using its rock priority physical attack as Cell Rock, which allowed for me to freely set up Hawlucha's attack and defense stats by using Bulk Up. Lycanroc also has the dark physical attack in Bite, which, if faster than the opposing Pokemon, Bite has a 10% chance to flinch, and because Hawlucha is a part fighting type, Lycanroc will never use Bite against Hawlucha. And because Lycanroc missed the Cell Rock twice, I was able to fully max out Hawlucha's attack and defense stats with 6 Bulk Ups before taking out Lycanroc with a Drain Punch. Nemona was forced to bring out Palmo's 2nd to try to gain a type edge with Palmo's electric typing, but Hawlucha quickly took out Palmo with a super effective Zen Headbutt because Palmo gains the secondary fighting typing when it evolves from Palmy. The rest of this fight was basically GG for Nemona, as her Gumi and starter Grass Terra Meowscarada both get their faces caved in with back-to-back +6 Drain Punches, securing me yet another victory over Nemona. Regardless if you win or lose this battle, you get to progress on in the story, and as a reward for battling in front of the top champion, she gives you 5 Terra Blast TMs. And because the next battle coming up is against the Ghost Gym Leader Rhyme in Montanevera Town, I paid a visit to Treasure Eatery before leaving Medali Town. As a reward for defeating Larry, you get 50 free normal Terra-type shards, and I took full advantage of the opportunity to change Hawlucha's Terra-type to normal. Before challenging the MIC of RIP in Montanevera, I headed back towards my home to catch a level 3 Magikarp, keeping this as close to a solo challenge as possible, considering this Ghost Gym is the only double battle in the base game of Scarlet and Violet. And as I terrestrialized Hawlucha into a Terra Normal type, the AI of both of Rhyme's Pokemon instantly sees a KO and will attack Magikarp with Shadow Sneak, which Mimikyu was able to do, finishing Magikarp off. Banette tried to do the same, but couldn't hit Hawlucha, and as Mone hit both of Rhyme's Pokemon with Rock Slide, the crowd at the gym went absolutely nuts, giving Hawlucha an Omni boost due to the gym's gimmick. After taking a priority sucker punch from Bennett, Hawlucha clapped back with a super effective dark physical attack throat chop, taking Bennett out. Mimikyu then struck Hawlucha with a puny slash. And as Rhyme brought out her third Pokemon, Houndstone, the crowd went wild once again, giving Hawlucha a boost to both its attack stats. As you also noticed, I had Hawlucha gain HP back by holding leftovers, as Houndstone got wiped out by a +2 throat chop. Rhyme basically threw this turn by the wayside by having Mimikyu set up a light screen, which only halves damage done by special attacks, and Hawlucha is a physical attacker. Speaking of attack, Hawlucha got yet another boost to both its attack stats from the crowd as Rhyme brought out her ace Pokemon, Ghost Terra Toxtricity, who quickly got sent back into its Pokeball, needing a trip to the Pokemon Center after getting destroyed by a +3 throat chop from Hawlucha. Mimikyu got one more slash in before on the very next turn, it also got sent back to the graveyard with a super effective Iron Head. Hawlucha's battling prowess earned itself a Grammy Award, and both of us our 12th overall badge. I quickly flew to the Asado Desert, chasing down and challenging the quaking Earth Titan Iron Treads. Hawlucha quickly ended the first phase of this bout with a devastating low kick. I fought the second phase with Arvin Scovillain by my side, as Hawlucha took off half of the boosted health of Mega Donphan with a low kick. And as Scovillain lowered the speed of Iron Treads by 2 with Scary Face, I had Hawlucha unleash its signature move, Flying Press, a fighting physical attack that also does flying type damage. Arvin then had Scovillain go on the aggressive with Fire Fang, doing super effective damage on Iron Treads, and also getting the 10% chance to flinch. Well done, Arvin. Hawlucha will take it over from here, finishing off Iron Treads with a critical hit Drain Punch. And because Iron Treads was vanquished, Hawlucha will not take end-of-turn damage from the sandstorm that was going during the battle. Hawlucha and I now have 13 badges as we head back to Alfrenada. Upon my second arrival to Alfrenada, I was once again ambushed by Nemona, who challenged me to another battle. Her midday Lycanroc now has Rock Slide, so I was able to have Hawlucha set up its attack and defense just like last time by using Bulk Up. But in this case, as Hawlucha heals up with leftovers, I only used Bulk Up twice before taking this second Rock Slide. Another move that has a small chance of flinching an opponent if the user moves first. But since Hawlucha has speed for days, it was able to take out Lycanroc while healing more with Drain Punch, and the rest of Nemona's team suffered the exact same fate in yet another humiliating sweep. Now it's time for Hawlucha to take on another gym where Mone is at a type disadvantage against Psychic Gym Leader Tulip. Not wanting to take any chances, I terrestrialized Hawlucha and the Terra Normal, getting rid of all its weaknesses to Psychic. Also on the opening turn of this fight, I had Hawlucha set up its attack by 2 stages by using Swords Dance. For Rigorath, Tulip's lead has Reflect, but it decided to do damage with Zen Headbutt. After the Swords Dance boost, Tulip was forced into a checkmate. As for Rigorath, Gardevoir and Espaffer all went down to the combination of the moves Throat Chop and Iron Head. And for Tulip's Ace Florges, X marks the spot. Chalk up yet another upset win for Hawlucha, turning a gym that's supposed to be a problem into another opportunity for domination, collecting my 14th badge. I wouldn't call this 8th and final gym battle atop Glaciato Mountain against Ice Gym Leader Grusha a disadvantage for Hawlucha. Yes, because Hawlucha being a flying type, it's weak to ice type moves, but Hawlucha is also a fighting type, a type that excels in crushing ice. With Hawlucha now at level 51, I traded the leftovers item for a wide lens to increase the accuracy of the moves I had in Hawlucha's moveset, all of which were used to crush Grusha's team of 4, including the recently learned High Jump Kick, which is powerful enough to one-shot both Beartic and Grusha's third Pokemon, Satitan. Russia's first Pokemon Frostmoth went down to a quad-effective Rock Tomb, and once Altaria terrestrialized into an Ice type, it made Flying Press, Hawlucha's signature finishing maneuver, super effective, stylishly capping off an emphatic 8th and final gym victory. Now that Hawlucha and I are a proud owner of all 8 Paldea Region gym badges, I am now officially certified to challenge the Pokemon League, but there are 3 more badges left to claim. The previous 2 Team Star fights have been brutal on Hawlucha, and now this 4th Team Star base will provide yet another daunting test.
It's a new Cadillac!
Hawlucha is now at level 55 as we go to war against the Rukba squad of Team Star, led by Ortega, a master of fairy types, another type that provides Hawlucha with a disadvantage. And since Ortega's first 3 Pokemon all have a setup move designed to lower Hawlucha's physical attack stat by 1 or 2 stages, I gave Hawlucha a clear amulet to hold, hopefully buying Mone a few turns, also terrestrializing Hawlucha into a normal type. Hawlucha was able to get the first attack in with Thunder Punch, hoping for a paralysis but wasn't able to get it. But Azumarill used Charm, which would have lowered Hawlucha's attack down by 2 stages, but thanks to the clear amulet, that didn't happen as Azumarill went down to a Poison Jab. Ortega's next Pokemon, Wigglytuff, also has Charm, but after surviving Hawlucha's Iron Head, Wigglytuff was smart enough to attack with Play Rough, before it also went down to a Poison Jab that also scored a critical hit for Hawlucha. Ortega then called upon the well-baked Generation 9 puppy known as Dachshund, who wasted its first turn by using a priority Baby Doll Eyes, which would have lowered Hawlucha's attack by 1. I had Hawlucha heal up on the first turn against Dachshund with Roost before striking with Iron Head on the next turn, and as Dachshund ended the turn by hitting Play Rough, it foolishly used Baby Doll Eyes again on the 3rd turn, leading to its demise, compliments of another Hawlucha Iron Head. Mone has fared well so far, but now it's about to face off against the Rukba Starmobile, who loves to confuse opposing Pokemon. But in order to do so, it has to get rid of its Misty Surge terrain by using Steel Roller on the first turn, allowing for Hawlucha to hit with Iron Head and then heal up with Roost on the next turn before it predictably used Confuse Ray. On the first turn of Confusion, Hawlucha hit itself, causing Hawlucha to lose valuable HP, as the Starmobile is poised to strike with Magical Torque, but thanks to the power of friendship once again, it missed its first attempt. On the next turn, Mone broke through Confusion to land an Iron Head, as Magical Torque was again off the mark. RNG luck swung in favor of Ortega on the next turn as Hawlucha hit itself again, allowing for the Starmobile to strike with Magical Torque. On the next turn, Hawlucha broke through again and healed up with Roost before getting hit by another Magical Torque. Mone shook off the confusion and landed another Iron Head, taking the Starmobile deep into the red before being hit by another Magical Torque, which also had the probability of confusing Hawlucha again. But RNG didn't fail me this time, as a final Poison Jab sends this 4th Team Starmobile into the junkyard. My Hawlucha has effectively activated Beast Mode as I happily collect our 16th badge. There's no rest for the weary, as Hawlucha and I made haste, navigating our way through the bamboo forest, taking aim at Team Star base number 5.
A new Porsche!
For what is deemed by many the most difficult battle in all of Scarlet and Violet, a showdown against Aerie, the Team Star Cap Squad leader and a master of fighting types. I put my strategic mind to use, having Hawlucha hold a Pecha Berry, basically encouraging Aerie's lead Pokemon Toxicroak to get a poison status, with its best move against Hawlucha being Poison Jab. I had Hawlucha bulk up twice, and I got exactly what I wanted when Toxicroak connected with its second Poison Jab, which got Hawlucha poisoned, which meant Hawlucha was going to instantly shake it off thanks to the Pecha Berry before wiping out Toxicroak with a +2 acrobatics. And since Annihilate has the super effective Ice Punch, Aerie brought out the Rage Monkey second to get absolutely wrecked by acrobatics. Aries' third Pokemon, Lucario, fared no better, as it served to be healing fodder for Hawlucha, knocking out Lucario with a super effective Drain Punch. Once again at full HP, Hawlucha uses acrobatics a third time in this fight to obliterate Passimian, leaving Aries with only the Cap Starmobile to lean on. And this is where I knew victory was ours. I had Hawlucha set up its attack and defense at a +3 with Bulk Up, considering the Starmobile's best attack on Hawlucha lowers its own speed by 2 stages in the Steel Physical Attack Spin-Out. The other moves Aries Starmobile has is Combat Torque, a fighting move that can paralyze, but is less effective against flying types. It also has High Horsepower, a ground physical attack that can't even touch flying types. So the only hope Aries has left in stealing a win is having the Starmobile set up its attack by using Shift Gear 6 times, but I was not going to let her have that satisfaction. After bulking up 3 more times, this +5 acrobatics was more than enough to put a temporary end into the Team Star Shenanigans. That's what you get, Aries, for not having Hawlucha on your team. Give me my 17th badge now! For the final badge before taking on the Elite Four, I had to visit Castle Royal Lake once again to go up against the False Dragon Titan Dondozo. For this first phase, I simply traded attacks on the first 2 turns before Dondozo eventually went down with a third Thunder Punch. Dondozo's Aqua Tail was still doing significant damage on the first 2 turns of this first phase before it eventually went down. I had Hawlucha heal up during the first phase with leftovers. For the second phase, as I team up with Arven's Greedent, I had Hawlucha hold the Clear Amulet this time to prevent any potential stat drops. After being struck by the first turn Thunder Punch, Dondozo tried to get a confusion on Hawlucha with Water Pulse. Arven's Greedent lowered the defense of Dondozo by 1 stage with Tail Whip, making Hawlucha's next Thunder Punch do considerably more damage. Dondozo was able to retaliate by paralyzing Hawlucha with its first Body Slam, before Greedent's takedown took Dondozo deep into the red. I took this opportunity to heal Hawlucha up with Roost as it broke through the paralysis, as Dondozo then paralyzed Greedent with another Body Slam. A second takedown from Greedent forced Dondozo to sink deep down into the waters of this wretched lake, forcing the third phase of this fight against Dondozo's best bud, the real Dragon Titan Tatsugiri. And because Tatsugiri has the super effective Icy Wind, I terrestrialized Hawlucha into Terra Normal. Tatsugiri is also the reason why I have Hawlucha hold the Clear Amulet, because Tatsugiri has 2 stat-dropping moves, Muddy Water, which has the small chance of lowering the opposing Pokemon's accuracy, and Icy Wind, which will always lower the opposing Pokemon's speed. Arven's Greedent did a fantastic job of weakening the curly form Sushi Monster's defense with Tail Whip, also taking Tatsugiri deep into the red with Takedown before succumb to its own move's recoil damage, setting up the victory for Hawlucha with 1 final Drain Punch, giving Mone the Hawlucha and I all 18 badges. Here are the final effort values and individual values for Mone the Hawlucha as we enter into the Pokemon League. As you see, I changed its Terra type to Ghost, implementing the second of 5 Terra type changes as per my solo challenge rules. Its attack EVs are still maxed out, and I did put emphasis on speed and a little bit on its defenses as well, before taking on the first member of the Elite Four, Rika, a specialist in ground types. Her first Pokemon, Whiscash, has 2 super effective special attacks against Hawlucha, and the Psychic 2-turn attack Future Sight, and the Ice attack Blizzard. My goal was try to not terrestrialize Hawlucha unless I absolutely needed to. After hitting a quad effective Trailblaze on the first turn, Whiscash immediately went for Future Sight, so I made the careful decision in terrestrializing Hawlucha into a Terra Ghost type, before finishing off Whiscash on the second turn with another Trailblaze, putting Hawlucha's speed at +2 before Rika sent out her second Pokemon Dugtrio, which does have the Dark Physical Priority Attack Sucker Punch. And as Dugtrio went down to Trailblaze, the Future Sight from Whiscash eventually struck Hawlucha, which would have been super effective if I didn't terrestrialize. I set up Hawlucha's attack even further with Swords Dance before taking a powerful Fire Blast from Rika's third Pokemon Camerupt. Then I had Hawlucha heal up with Drain Punch to finish Camerupt off before Rika sent out her fourth Pokemon, Donphan. After setting up a second Swords Dance to put Hawlucha's attack stat to +4, Donphan got the rare opportunity to hit a flying type with Earthquake due to the Ghost Terrestrialization before Donphan also went down to a Drain Punch. Just so everyone knows, I also had Hawlucha come into the Pokemon League at level 65. And now Rika brings out her final Pokemon in Clodsire, who terrestrializes into a ground type and is famous for toxic stalling. But after healing Hawlucha up on the first turn against Clodsire with Roost, Rika wanted to shake things up by having Clodsire hit Hawlucha with a double stab Terra boosted Earthquake that didn't even take off half of Mone's health before Clodsire went down to a +4 Drain Punch, securing our first victory in the Elite Four as we now go up against Poppy, a master of steel types. Even though Hawlucha has a type advantage in this Elite Four fight, all 5 of Poppy's steel types has a super effective attack waiting for Hawlucha if I don't terrestrialize, including Poppy's lead Pokemon Copperajah with the Fairy physical attack Play Rough, which is also boosted by Copperajah's Sheer Force ability. So I wasted little time in terrestrializing Hawlucha into Terra Ghost, digging underground to strike the ironclad elephant with a super effective dig before Copperajah retaliated with Heavy Slam. And after gaining back valuable HP with leftovers, I had Hawlucha heal up with a super effective Drain Punch to take Copperajah out, forcing Poppy into bringing her second Pokemon, her bulkiest, in Corviknight. I taught Hawlucha Fire Punch for this fight, delivering substantial damage to Corviknight, who tried to shorten the damage output by increasing his defense by 2 stages by using Iron Defense. After the second Fire Punch from Hawlucha connected, Corviknight went for the Brave Bird, but missed, enabling for Hawlucha to get the KO on the very next turn with a third Fire Punch, while also healing up more HP. Once Corviknight went down, coming out next for Poppy is the part Psychic type Bronzong, which has the ability Levitate and not Heat Proof, as this first Fire Punch struck for over half of Bronzong's HP. After taking an Iron Head, I decided to have Hawlucha click Fire Punch a 5th consecutive time to put away Bronzong. Poppy's 4th Pokemon is the Party Electric type Magnezone, Poppy's only special attacker with the Sturdy ability. But as proven once before in this run against Brash's Sudowoodo, Hawlucha's Mold Breaker busts right through it. And as Magnezone went down to a quad effective dig, Poppy is down to her last Pokemon in Steel Terra Tinkaton, setting the stage for a matchup between 2 Pokemon with the Mold Breaker ability. And since Tinkaton's best move against ghost types is the obscenely powerful Gigaton Hammer, a move that can't be used twice in a row, I had Hawlucha dig underground, causing Tinkaton to whiff Gigaton Hammer, and striking Tinkaton for massive damage, forcing Tinkaton to go for a critical hit with Stone Edge, but wasn't able to get it, before Hawlucha finishes off this second Elite Four fight with a Drain Punch. That's half of the Elite Four down, and now Hawlucha has a golden opportunity to prove to all that it is a supreme flying type. Strategy was needed of the utmost importance to take down Rika and Poppy, but the plan I had in mind for Larry and his team of flyers was straightforward. I simply had Hawlucha set up a Swords Dance on the first turn against Larry's lead Pokemon Trophius, who loves to set up the sun to boost its speed with Chlorophyll, before Trophius went down to Hawlucha's Fire Punch, as Hawlucha was still worlds faster than Trophius. The Swords Dance boost was needed because of Staraptor's Intimidate ability lowering Hawlucha's attack stat back to +1. The terrestrialization of Terra Ghost proved to be unnecessary, as Staraptor easily went down to a +1 Thunder Punch. And as for the rest of Larry's team, Larry's 3rd and 4th Pokemon, Altaria and Pom Pom Style Oricorio respectively, both went down to +1 Rock Slides, and Larry's ace Flying Terraflamigo was also a one-shot thanks to Hawlucha's Thunder Punch. With this one-sided beatdown of Larry's Flyers, Hawlucha can now look forward to taking on the final member of the Elite Four. The final dragon guarding the fortress of the Elite Four just so happens to be Dragon Master Hassel. And because his first Pokemon Noivern has the normal attack Super Fang, which cuts in half the opposing Pokemon on every turn, I decided to terrestrialize Hawlucha immediately and set up its attack by 2 stages with Swords Dance. And because Hawlucha moved first, Noivern decided to deal damage with Air Slash, which would have been super effective on Hawlucha if I didn't terrestrialize. I then had Hawlucha set up a second Swords Dance. Then Noivern opted for more damage with Dragon Pulse and got it with a critical hit. The combination of leftovers healing and this +4 Drain Punch got Hawlucha back to green health, taking Noivern deep into the red before it struck back with a second Dragon Pulse. I then had Hawlucha use Rock Slide to get the KO on the next turn. And because Hassel's second Pokemon, Haxorus, has the super effective Dark Physical Attack Punch, another mold-breaking battle was about to take place, which Hawlucha won instantly with Drain Punch, getting Hawlucha close to full HP, along with the healing from leftovers. Out third for Hassel is Dragalge with the Poison Point ability, which poisons opposing Pokemon if they hit Dragalge with a physical attack, like this ground physical attack Dig, which thankfully did not proc Poison Point, and Dragalge was disposed of. In swift fashion, Hawlucha took out the penultimate Pokemon before Hassel's ace in Flapple with the Drain Punch. And now, in comes Hassel's ace, Dragon Terra Baxcalibur. And because Hawlucha's terrestrialized into Terra Ghost, the only move Baxcalibur can hit Hawlucha with is its patented Glaive Rush or Icicle Crash. But neither of those attacks came into effect as another Drain Punch secures the final victory of the Elite Four, passing the Elite Test and setting us up for a showdown against top champion Geeta. Even though her team is not categorized as memorable for a champion, all but one of Geeta's Pokemon has a super effective attack in their movesets that can easily trip up Hawlucha, including her first Pokemon, which is why I gave Hawlucha an Assault Vest to hold to hopefully lighten the burden. It's champion time, so hit the music! I did not have a setup move on Hawlucha specifically because of Geeta's lead Pokemon, the Spathra, having the Opportunist ability. The move that I was slightly concerned about the most was a Spathra's Lumina Crash, which always lowers opposing Pokemon's special defense by 2 stages each time it hits. Personally, I should be thanking Geeta, because once I terrestrialized Hawlucha and the Terra Ghost, I used the move that I taught Hawlucha by TM for this fight that was given to me by Geeta after I got my 5th gym badge in Terra Blast, a normal type attack that ends up becoming a ghost type attack because of Hawlucha's Terra type. Not only did it do super effective damage and wiping out a Spathra, it landed a critical hit. The Pokemon that I was hinting that did not have a super effective attack without Hawlucha being terrestrialized is King Gambit. But the Gen 9 evolution of Bisharp moves at a snail's pace, as it got wiped out instantaneously with a quad effective Flying Press for fighting type damage. Another Pokemon on Geeta's team that moves at a glacial pace is Avalugg, notoriously weak in special defense as it goes down to a Focus Blast. Hawlucha then immediately showed Go-Goat who the true GOAT of the Kalos region is, pouncing on Go-Goat with Flying Press for super effective flying type damage and another one-hit KO. Geeta's penultimate Pokemon, Veluza, was quickly sent back to the Shadow Realm with a Ghost Terra Blast, leaving Geeta with only one Pokemon, her ace being Rock Terra Glimora. The pinnacle of the Pokemon League was Hawlucha's own version of WrestleMania. And as Geeta terrestrialized Glimora into a Terra Rock type, it was time for Hawlucha to conclude matters. Glimora withstood Flying Press and was able to strike Hawlucha with Earth Power before the inevitable came to be. Hawlucha delivered a Drain Punch for the final KO, giving Hawlucha and I the honor of being called Paldea Region Champions. Another graceful performance from Mone to Hawlucha, as we now aim to finish the rest of this run with 5 battles left to be won. After becoming the newest Paldania trainer with champion rank, I headed up to my dorm room to celebrate, but was cut off by Director Clavel, who immediately challenged me to a Pokemon battle. However, his lead Pokemon Oranguru is his weakest link, because it's easy to set up on. The only super effective attack Oranguru has against Hawlucha is Dream Eater, a psychic special attack that only works if the opposing Pokemon is sleeping, which made it that much easier for me to have Hawlucha set up Swords Dance twice to put its attack stat to +4, instantly waking up on the second turn after being hit with Yawn by eating a Chesto Berry. And from there, it was game over for the director, as all 6 of his Pokemon were victimized by a Hawlucha clean sweep, courtesy of the 3 attacks in Hawlucha's move pool being Flying Press, Drain Punch, and Throat Chop, even through Oranguru's second turn Reflect, which wore off after taking out Poltergeist. Not wasting a breath after defeating Clavel, Hawlucha and I next took on Penny to finish off the Starfall Street main quest. Once again, I gave Mone the Clear Amulet, so that her attack stat would never get lowered, considering all 6 of Penny's evolutions has baby doll eyes. I also did not terrestrialize Hawlucha on the first turn because Penny's Umbreon is a dark type. Umbreon still has the super effective Psychic, which struck for a quarter of Hawlucha's health before it went down to a second Drain Punch. And before Umbreon went down, Penny made the first mistake of the fight by trying to use Baby Doll Eyes to lower Hawlucha's attack before bringing out her second evolution in the electric type Jolteon. This is where I decided to terrestrialize Hawlucha into Terra Ghost and immediately used Dig, a ground attack that is Jolteon's only weakness. Jolteon is one of the fastest Pokemon around, but foolishly used Baby Doll Eyes on the first turn before it got taken out. The third evolution for Penny is the Fire-type Flareon, who is also weak to Dig. While Hawlucha was underground, Flareon whiffed on Flare Blitz and again went for Baby Doll Eyes before it too got taken down. Penny then brought out her 4th evolution in the Water-type Vaporeon. I had Hawlucha heal up with Drain Punch to get some HP back. Then Hawlucha Friendship dodged Vaporeon's strongest attack in Hydro Pump before getting the KO with Poison Jab, which is the move I needed to take out Penny's 5th evolution in the Grass-type Leafeon. Hawlucha's first Poison Jab immediately poisoned Leafeon, who retaliated with a critical hit Leaf Blade. Penny still can't stop using Baby Doll Eyes on the Pokemon with Clear Amulet. It is not gonna work, and because of Penny's silly actions, Leafeon was the 5th evolution to fall. All of Penny's precious evolutions have failed to try to lower Hawlucha's attack down thanks to the Clear Amulet. And the last Pokemon Penny has is Fairy Terra Sylveon, and because Hawlucha is at Terra Ghost, Sylveon has the super effective Ghost special attack Shadow Ball, which can no doubt take off a large chunk of Hawlucha's HP. Are you serious? As Hawlucha's Iron Head puts Sylveon on the brink of fainting. For someone who claims to be great at machines and hacking and stuff, Penny clearly did not have a functioning brain for this fight. Hawlucha and I easily breezed through, closing down Starfall Street. With Hawlucha now at level 73, I made my way over to the Pokepath Lighthouse, meeting up with Arven and his revitalized Mabostiff, which we will see later, as we now look to finish the Path of Legends story. Arven's first 5 Pokemon all went down in a single hit. Greedent succumbed to Drain Punch. Scovillain got wiped out by a Poison Jab. Garganacl was defeated by a Focus Blast. Toedscruel got deleted by Brave Bird. And Hawlucha surprised me by going 2 for 2 on Focus Blast and finishing off Cloyster. And now for Arven's Mabostiff, who will lower Hawlucha's attack stat down to a -1 because it has the Intimidate ability. With Hawlucha's Terra type still at Ghost, in no shape, form, or fashion did I want to deal with a double-stab terrestrialized crunch from Mabostiff, so I had Hawlucha heal up with Drain Punch, and it also gained valuable HP with leftovers after Mabostiff's Play Rough took off nearly half of Hawlucha's HP. Then on the final turn of this bout, Hawlucha earned herself another knockout, defeating Mabostiff with a second Drain Punch. That's 2 major stories down and 2 battles left as we have officially completed the Path of Legends. At the request of Mone the Hawlucha, I purposely saved this battle against Nemona to be the penultimate fight of this Pokemon Violet Hawlucha only solo run, as this marks the end of the Victory Road storyline, as I go up against Nemona for the last time, giving her one final opportunity at redemption for all the losses she had to take going up against my amazing Hawlucha, who is now at level 75, and you do not gain any experience for this battle. I equipped Hawlucha with a full attacking set and an assault vest to hold, considering Nemona is now strapped with a full team of 6, all of which can potentially pose a threat to Hawlucha's plans of total victory. Well, almost all of Nemona's Pokemon, considering her first Pokemon, Lycanroc, has never been an issue for Hawlucha in this run. I had Hawlucha build up its already blazing speed on the first turn with Trailblaze, and as Lycanroc failed to get a crit with Stone Edge, I had Hawlucha healed up with Drain Punch to finish off Lycanroc, and Drain Punch will be Hawlucha's main form of healing, considering Hawlucha is not holding leftovers. I immediately had Hawlucha dig on the second turn, considering Nemona brought out Palmot, getting the immediate one-shot on the ensuing turn after Palmot failed to hit Double Shock. The main reason why I have an Assault Vest on Hawlucha is because of Nemona's third Pokemon, Goodra, who was able to hit super effectively on Hawlucha with Ice Beam after Hawlucha used Drain Punch. Fortunately, Ice Beam did not freeze Hawlucha, who was able to get the KO on the next turn. Inadvertently, Nemona gave Hawlucha a free healing turn, as it knocked out her fourth Pokemon, 3-segmented Dunsparce, with another Drain Punch. Drain Punch only has 10 power points, and I didn't want to use more than 3 Drain Punches on Nemona's 5th Pokemon, Orthworm, considering Orthworm has a very high base defense stat. So I went for the next best option, using Dig, which will hit Orthworm because of Hawlucha's Mold Breaker ability, which overrides Orthworm's Earth Eater ability. It took 2 Dig attacks for Hawlucha to finish off Orthworm, who missed 3 Iron Tails, one of which was due to the power of friendship. And now Nemona was down to her final Pokemon, the starter she had to choose, considering I picked Fuecoco at the beginning, in Grasstera Meowscarada. And because of the Trailblaze speed boost at the start of this fight, Meowscarada has no hopes for survival, as Hawlucha dive bombs on the Weed Cat with Brave Bird for the final KO, giving me yet another satisfying victory over Nemona in front of all of Paldea to bear witness to, giving me the right to call myself the ultimate champion of this Battle of Champions, and the strongest trainer in the Paldea region, closing out the Victory Road storyline. We have officially come to the main event of this Pokemon Violet Hawlucha only solo challenge, the Way Home finishing story, which is at the Great Crater of Paldea. I join with Arven, Nemona, Penny, and the box legendary Miraidon as we ride down to the deepest depths of Area Zero in hopes of saving the entire region from the tyrannic ways of Professor AI Turo, which is heralded as the hardest battle in all of Pokemon Violet. Of course, if I did this challenge in Pokemon Scarlet, I'll be dealing with that same threat in Professor AI Sada. But all 6 of Turo's future Paradox Pokemon has a super effective attack against Hawlucha, which is the main reason why I chose Violet for this challenge. Iron Moth, whom Turo will send out first, has the Electric Special Attack Discharge. Turo has 2 Electric Paradox Pokemon in Iron Hands and Iron Thorns, who both pack a Thunder Punch. Iron Bundle could stop Hawlucha in its tracks with Freeze Dry. Iron Jugless has a lethal Air Slash, and Turo's ace, Iron Valiant, can easily break the spirit of Hawlucha with its powerful Fairy attack, and also has the high critical hit ratio move Psycho Cut. So for the final time in this run, I terrestrialize Hawlucha into Terra Ghost as Iron Moth hits the battlefield. Hawlucha outspeeds and was able to dig underground, causing Iron Moth to miss discharge before the futuristic Volcarona gets dropped by a quad-effective dig. Now that Hawlucha is terrestrialized, Toro immediately was going to bring out Iron Jugulis second because it has the super effective Dark Pulse. Hawlucha struck first with Thunder Punch, taking Iron Jugulis down to the red before eating a Dark Pulse, which struck for over half of Hawlucha's health, giving Toro some computerized confidence. But Hawlucha was able to heal up with Leftovers and this Drain Punch, which strikes for neutral damage because the futuristic Hydreigon is a Dark and Flying type. And as Hawlucha gets more valuable HP back with Leftovers, the next Paradox Pokemon to step up for Toro is the Generation 9 version of Mecha Tyranitar in Iron Thorns, who was taken down to 1 HP with Hawlucha's Drain Punch, then missed Stone Edge, thanks to the power of friendship. Then I had Hawlucha dig underground to gain more HP with Leftovers as Iron Thorns missed Stone Edge again with a could-have used Earthquake, which doubles in damage whenever the opposing Pokemon is underground, but it's too late for that now. Turo's fourth Pokemon Iron Bundle was quickly taken down to red health with another Thunder Punch by Hawlucha, who fortunately did not get frozen by Iron Bundle's Freeze Dry, before finishing off the futuristic Delibird with a Drain Punch. The fifth Pokemon for Turo is Iron Hands, a futuristic Hariyama, who normally likes to get the upper hand with a first turn Fake Out, which cannot hit Ghost types, so its best attack is Thunder Punch. Knowing this, I had Hawlucha do a Dig, and I was pleased to see that Dig took off half of Iron Hand's HP, and even more pleased to see that Thunder Punch failed to paralyze. So I had Hawlucha Dig again, and seeing the Thunder Punch whiff on the next attempt, Hawlucha amazingly outdid herself with a critical hit to take Iron Hands out. Mone, the Hawlucha has proven time and time again throughout this entire run just how marvelous she truly is. And now she's faced with one final opponent to enter the ring against her in the Iron Valiant, the futuristic fusion of Gallade and Gardevoir that gets its attack stat boosted by 30% thanks to its Quark Drive ability that activates because the Valiant is holding a booster energy. All of that means nothing to Hawlucha as it climbs up the imaginary top rope, delivering a powerful LeBron James-like slam dunk on the chrome dome piece of Iron Valiant. This fight is over! And that is how I managed to defeat all of Pokemon Violet using only Hawlucha. I had a wonderful time doing this solo run, giving me a newfound respect for the amazing ability of Hawlucha when it comes to Pokemon battles. This entire challenge took me only 12 hours and 35 minutes of gameplay to complete, making this the second fastest challenge out of all the runs I've done so far in Scarlet and Violet. To all of you who took the time out and wanted to view this from the beginning to the end and enjoying this experience along with me, I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you love content like this, be sure to leave a like. And if you are new to this channel, please consider clicking the subscribe button, because every subscription tells me that I am doing something right and will further inspire me to want to make even more gaming content. See you on the next one, and as always, take care, God bless you all, and keep on shining.